Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Board of the Greater Niagara Chamber of Commerce, thank you for joining us virtually for the 2021 State of the City of St. Catharines address right here at First Ontario Performance Arts Centre, presented in partnership with Verge Insurance, an organization generously committed to individuals and businesses region-wide. My name is Mishka Balsam and I'm the CEO of the GNCC. We would like to begin by acknowledging that the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee people, many of whom continue to live and work here today. We recognize and deeply appreciate their historic connection to this place. We also recognize the contributions of First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people, both in shaping and strengthening the city in particular, and our province and country as a whole. Throughout the pandemic, we have held discussions with businesses, elected officials, and industry experts on how this pandemic will change how we live, how we work, and how our communities will function. And above all, how will it reshape our collective values and priorities? It is critical for us to convene for conversations that encourage us to stretch our minds and determine a value on how to best move forward. The decisions that we have made over the past 12 months and in the months to come will be the foundation of our recovery. This time has shown us that business is an active part of the solution. We had two choices: to sit on the sideline or diligently be part of shaping decisions. I'm proud to be here this evening and say that organizations across the city have committed to keeping people safe at the same time while being an active part of a recovery. These organizations are important during ordinary times and indispensable during tough ones. We depend on the skills and courage shown by municipal staff and elected officials to help the businesses that support families and our communities. I would like to personally thank them, and especially Mayor Sendzik, for their commitment to business success, as shown in many of the decisions that they have made. Some of them include the waiving of a business license fees for most affected sectors, expanding a patio program until 2022, waiving parking fees, promoting local delivery and curbside pickup, and the popular digital Main Street program supporting the digitalization of organizations. But above all, we are grateful for their active participation in advocating at the provincial and federal levels alongside with us for the subsidies and resources needed to bridge the impact of lockdown and strict guidelines. In the past, we have held events like this one in person, either here or at the Niagara Meridian Center next door, at Ridley College, or at any one of our amazing accommodation venues. I would rush through my remarks feeling that I was standing between attendees, you, and a good lunch or dinner. That might still be the case tonight, but just in the comfort of your own homes. But from all of us who have worked on this event behind the scenes, thank you for your time. We never take it for granted. I wanted to give you a quick overview of what the format of tonight looks like and what you can expect. There are really two distinct aspects to it. The first one is that Team STC is presenting 5 awards to amazing businesses right here in our city. And this is followed by the official address by Mayor Sendzik. When we look at the time, we probably or likely will wrap it up between 8 to 8:30, but no later than that. But before moving forward, let me acknowledge our partners who have made tonight possible. Verge Insurance, Bell Community Affairs, MNP, RBC, Electra, O'Hara Trucking and Excavation, Wine Growers of Ontario, Kiefer Developments, Accenture, UTV, First Ontario Performing Arts Centre, Move 105.7, and News Talk 610 CKTB. We're better because you're by our side. And I would like to extend my thanks to Verge Insurance for being the title sponsor of this event. Verge is a longtime supporter of the GNCC And as a company, they're focused on the prosperity of the Niagara region. Verge Insurance is the largest independently owned insurance brokerage in Niagara and is ranked in the top 5% of brokerages in the province. This family-owned business has focused on building a stronger region and has generally given back to the community since 1953. And here's a message from Verge Insurance.
Verge Insurance has been in Niagara a long time. It was founded in 1953 by Angus Verge, and then soon after his brother William, Bill Verge, joined him. I came along in 1982 after completing my schooling, and we had a tremendous relationship for all those years. And by 1995, I had bought the business completely from Angus and Bill Verge. And now I'm so proud that my son Blake and my daughter Carolyn have joined our company, and they've been with us since 2016. And the future looks bright with new leadership.
I'm the personal line sales and communications manager. My role covers the home and auto sides of our business, as well as our digital presence. I was lucky enough to join our family business back in 2016. Here at Verge, sales and service are the cornerstones upon which we operate, and I stand behind that. And it is an honor to serve the community I grew up in.
I started in the insurance industry 6 years ago, working internationally at an insurance brokerage. I joined the family business in 2016, where my current role is to negotiate the placement of commercial insurance with our insurance company partners. We look forward to growing and expanding the footprint of our business in the Niagara region for decades to come.
At this time, it is my privilege to ask Carolyn Shirk, Director of Marketing and Business Development, to introduce Mayor Sendzik.
How many years does it take to create a tradition? Well, we are on our 7th year and counting. All of us here are very familiar with Mayor Sendzik's life story, but tradition requires that I repeat it. From his proud Ukrainian and Polish roots to a successful career as an entrepreneur in the publishing world, he gained appreciation for the challenges that businesses face, and he began to think about how he could create greater change, be a stronger advocate, and bring more opportunity to our city of St. Catharines. Mayor Sendzik, City Council, and staff have set their vision on becoming the most dynamic, innovative, and sustainable city in North America. 1 year ago, our lives changed. It is a testament to our resiliency as a community that we have come this far. And it is a testament to Mayor Sendzik, City Council, and staff that they have not only led us through this, but maintained their focus on the strategic plan. From small businesses to large, from first responders to long-term caregivers, from parents to children, and from our citizens to our mayor, all of their hard work and determination provides oxygen to our city of St. Catharines. Because of this, we are well on our way to becoming the most dynamic, innovative, and sustainable city in North America. Our mayor and business community have been creative, imaginative, and adapted to our new normal. This is who we are. It is now my very great pleasure to introduce our mayor, Walter Sendzik.
Thank you very much, Carolyn. That was such a wonderful introduction, and Verge is an amazing company here in St. Catharines, and it's great to see the next generation of the family getting involved in the business, as our community has so many rich families that are part of the fabric of who we are. And when I talk about the word rich, I'm talking actually about the rich history, heritage, the depth of knowledge of entrepreneurship that those families in our community bring to St. Catharines. To improve is to change. To be perfect is to change often. And that was a quote from Winston Churchill over 100 years ago. And it remains as relevant today as it was back then. Great leaders understand what makes them succeed and what makes them vulnerable. They leverage their strengths and their weaknesses to face challenges head on. They show bravery in changing course while not compromising their vision or their goals. And they lead change from within, starting with themselves. It's during times like these we've experienced over the past 12 months, during the COVID-19 pandemic, where we lead change.
St. Catharines, the 12. The Garden City, St. Kitts, whatever you might call it, this city is our home. Since 1876, we've defined ourselves as a city that not only adapts to change, but leads it. Through adversity, we enrich. And through changing times, we are resilient. From our indigenous heritage that shaped our city, to the Underground Railroad that was a refuge for those seeking freedom, and the monumental canal that took us into the industrial age, we've been innovators, industry leaders, and a beacon of light for those with hope in their hearts. Change is in our soil. It runs through our waters. It lives in our neighborhoods and streets. We've seen ourselves rise and fall, and it's in those times of struggle we've led change. The brilliant minds of technology and dreamers of the future have found a home in St. Catharines. We are in a perpetual state of thinking bigger and making it happen. When everything stopped and the world came together by staying apart, we did what we've always done. We adapted and we worked together to find a way forward. As we look to the future, it's our past that inspires us. We know that great minds and new ideas are what get us there. In St. Catharines, we're leading change.
What a powerful video. Every year we celebrate local businesses, entrepreneurs, and investors who are making positive contributions to St. Catharines and the Niagara region with the Team STC Awards. 2020 has been a year unlike any other. While the COVID-19 pandemic has challenged us all in ways we had never expected, it highlights the spirit of resilience that is within all of us that dates back to the incorporation of our city in 1876. Tonight we celebrate how our community came together to face adversity. We recognize and take pride in the accomplishments of those who have led change. So our first St. Catharines Team STC Award recipient is a future leader, Heddle Shipyards. Rick Heddle, founder and COO, and Sean Pudulo, president. St. Catharines' storied history in shipbuilding is older than the country itself. Dating back to the early days of our community, St. Catharines became a leader in shipbuilding. On the Great Lakes and rode the shipbuilding wave through the industrial age that helped transform our community. Tonight, we recognize Heddle Shipyards as an emerging future leader in our community, seeking to contribute and continue the city's tradition of innovation in shipbuilding. St. Catharines welcomed Heddle to the city in 2017 when the company reestablished operations at the Port Weller dry docks, bringing new optimism to the once storied facility. With 3 vessels in for maintenance this winter, Port Weller is busier than it has been in years, creating work for more than 100 people, and that 100 people represents families in our community. With more than 30 years of experience operating shipyards, Heddle is charting a course to become the leading repair, maintenance, and overhaul service provider on the entire Great Lakes. Heddle Shipyards is a future leader in St. Catharines.
Hi everybody. We can't thank you enough here at Heddle Shipyards for this honor. It's an honor to be part of the community here in St. Catharines, and all the help we've had from the city and the region has been incredible these last few years. We've got a lot of work to do revitalizing the shipyard, but we're well on our way, and we're here to stay for many years to come. We've got some great opportunities with the National Shipbuilding Strategy, and hopefully it's going to create hundreds of jobs for the next decade here in St. Catharines. So once again, thank you so much, and we look forward to working with you for many years to come.
Congratulations, Sean!
It's great to be back in North St. Catharines, where I grew up, to see the shipyards being active again with Heddle Shipyards. The next future leader is Oddbird. Anyone who's ventured downtown knows where Oddbird is. The next future leaders we recognize are Scott White and Justin Duick. Scott and Justin opened Oddbird on St. Paul Street in 2017. contributing to a reimagined and burgeoning culinary scene that's helped transform downtown St. Catharines. In 2019, they opened their second downtown restaurant, Odd Bar, serving craft beer and amazing pizza just around the corner. Scott and Justin have been leading by example with their inspired cuisine, chalkboard menu, coupled with the casual coolness of their dining rooms. Their restaurants have caught the attention of Côte Nast publications, Traveler and Bon Appetit, helping to spread the word about St. Catharines' new culinary personality and putting the city on the foodies map, a must-see destination, not just here in Ontario, but around the world. While there's no doubt COVID-19 will continue to have an impact in the way we dine at restaurants, Scott and Justin have responded to this challenge and are helping to keep the momentum of our downtown revitalization efforts alive in a very tasty way. Oddbird is a future leader in St. Catharines.
That's so sick. Thank you so much for this. This is amazing. All the support we've had from the community and the city has been incredible over the years, so thank you so much. We chose downtown St. Catharines because we could really see the potential with it. We know it's changing a lot over the years, and even in the past couple years since we've been here, the change has been incredible. It's an honor to be a part of that and be recognized with this. St. Catharines as a whole has really kind of embraced what we've done here, and all the support we've had through the multiple closures and everything over the past year has been amazing, and everyone's been very willing to kind of go through the changes with us, which has been awesome. Thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you at Oddbird or Odd Bar anytime soon.
Congratulations!
That's great. Such a great restaurant downtown, joining so many others that have really put St. Catharines on the map when it comes to the culinary arts. The legacy leader, we have 3 legacy leaders. The next legacy leader is Can American Stone Spreader. Glenn Sendzik is a second-generation owner, and it's an honor to recognize the Sendzik family and their company that they've built here in St. Catharines, Can American Stone Spreader. Driven by a desire to innovate, Bob Sendzik, Glenn's father, and his sons drew on their experiences in the stone spreading industry and began consulting on product development and delivering equipment for a competitor in the United States. In the 1980s, later that same decade, the Sendzik family broke out on their own and began manufacturing versatile and dependable stone spreaders, all the while building a rock-solid reputation for customer service. Can American Stone Spreaders continually improve its equipment to provide clients with the tools to operate more safely and efficiently than ever. Over the last 30 years, Can American has increased its customer base and expanded its product line to grow new lines of business and emerging as an industry leader in North America, and they're right here in St. Catharines. In 2018, Glenn Sendzik became the second-generation owner of Can American. With a lifetime of experience in trucking and manufacturing, Glenn continues the company's commitment to a high level of innovation and customer service that Can American has become known for, and I got to say they did an expansion here in St. Catharines. It is absolutely outstanding, and they keep growing their business through technology and innovation of their product, and it's an amazing company to see and watch grow. Can American Spreader is St. Catharines' legacy leader.
I've been here a long time in St. Catharines doing business, and this is unexpected and appreciated. We started in business as a family business. My father started back in late 60s in ready-mix concrete, and we evolved into trucking with stone slingers and dump trucks. And as time went on, we thought we could build a better stone slinger, so we built our own, and we were in various locations in St. Catharines over the years, but eventually we ended up on Berryman Avenue, our current location, and we have about 40 employees here. We have a family business with lots of family. My children all work for me, a couple son-in-laws and others, and we've been very blessed. Even in this COVID times, we've managed to grow our business this year and see continued growth. St. Catharines has been a great location for us to as a hub to draw employees in the area, to facilitate our needs. We are very close to Buffalo border, which is very handy when it comes to accessing the U.S. market and for our customer base in the U.S. to access our plant here when needed. We finished a large expansion last year in 2020 with the help of the city and others. We continue to grow and hope to add on again in the future as we expand our markets across Canada, United States, and we also plan to move into Europe as well. So again, thank you very much and very much appreciate it.
Congratulations, Glenn.
What a company. What a company. And Glenn's a great guy and an example of what entrepreneurship looks like in our community, the next generation. So we're starting to see the next generation of entrepreneurs take hold of those businesses and grow them here in St. Catharines. And another legacy leader, someone who's been in our community for a number of years and whose family goes back well over 100 years, Doug and Karen Whitty and June and John Mann from 13th Street Winery. Established in 1998 by 4 award-winning amateur winemakers, 13th Street Winery is rooted by a passion for creating craft wines reflecting Niagara's unique terroir, as well as exceptional experiences. When the Mann and Whitty families purchased 13th Street in 2008, they continued that passion and began cultivating a truly cultural experience centered around the shared love of food, wine, and art. In addition to an expansive art gallery that is now opened on the site, the winery features the 13th Street Bakery, home to the Canada's best butter tarts, and it puts a smile on my face because every time I think of butter tarts, I think of 13th Street, and every time I think of 13th Street, I get hungry because I want butter tarts. In 2019, Doug Whitty, also the third-generation owner of Whitty Farms in St. Catharines, was named Grape King for his work to elevate the Ontario grape and wine industry. In 2018, 13th Street celebrated 20 years in business. While the COVID-19 is changing how businesses operate, 13th Street Winery has shown a resilience and an agility to adapt to the challenges it has faced while remaining a place that visitors can escape to, relax, discover, and learn, and it's right here in our community. 13th Street is a legacy leader in St. Catharines.
Wow, wonderful. On behalf of my family and our team here at 13th Street Winery, we just want to say thank you for this important award. We recognize and appreciate all the great encouragement and support we've received from the city over the years. St. Catharines is a great place to be and a great place to operate a business. Both Karen and I were born and raised here. Our family has farms here since 1908, and we recognize it's a great place to live, work, to play, to raise a family, and to operate a business. St. Catharines has a really cool mix of grit and creativity in its businesses and its people. We're a resilient community. We've seen a lot of change, and we've faced up to a lot of big challenges together. And we just are so thankful to be here. This really was hit home last year during the pandemic, when it really was the local community that came and supported us and has kept the lights on, quite frankly. We're thankful for that. We get people who come to 13th Street from all over the world, and they often say to us, wow, we didn't realize that your area has such beauty, diversity, and that St. Catharines has so many great things to offer. We're looking forward to them coming back, but we'll never forget how strongly the local community supported us, the support of the city, and we're looking forward to a great future, both for 13th Street Winery as a business and our other businesses in our community and the city in general. We think the best is yet to come.
Congratulations!
Such wonderful words from Doug. Creativity and grit, the defining characteristics. And this comes from someone who's worked the soils of Niagara with his family for many, many decades, and understanding that to be the best that we can be, we have to understand our roots. We have to understand where we've come from, and that's something that Whitty's, Doug and Karen and their family have really established at 13th Street Winery. The final this is the Lifetime Achievement, and this is a significant award that we bestow to a company or a family that has been a part of our community for many, many years. And it's an honor to recognize Shank Farms and Greenhouse, another long-standing business that has flourished in the Garden City. An incredible statement to our spirit, an incredible testament to our spirit of resilience. This year's Shank Farms and Greenhouses celebrates 130 years here in St. Catharines. Louis Shank established Shank Farms in 1891, starting out by growing and packaging fruits and vegetables, eventually shifting operations in the 1920s to developing exceptional floral products. Now spanning 5 generations, Shank Farms and Greenhouses specialize in bedding plants, potted plants, and young plant propagation in the greenhouses and grapes in the vineyards. With a history nearly as old as the city itself, the team at Shank Farms has tapped into the spirit of resilience to adapt and persevere. When the world stopped, Shank found new ways to bring flowers to the market. The company launched a new website with an online store and began offering curbside sales from a tent. For more than a century, Shank Farms and Greenhouses continues to strive, grow, deliver great products, and remains a significant contributor to the floral industry in the St. Catharines community. And to put it in context, Shank Farms has weathered the other pandemic that challenged communities around the world. In 1918, they've weathered a depression, 2 world wars, and they're here in our community. Couldn't be more proud for them to receive the Lifetime Achievement Award.
On behalf of the 7 generations of the Shank family that have lived in the city of St. Catharines, we want to thank the city for this wonderful award. We truly appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Congratulations to the Shank family, a well-deserved award.
At MMP, we understand the personal stake riding on your success, the consequences of every decision, the financial and emotional costs, the economic challenges. It's about everything you have invested a lifetime to build. At MMP, we're here to help local businesses navigate through challenges and find their way forward. Because in times like this, it helps to have an advisor who really gets what's on the line. Our local expertise, along with a diverse suite of services, are here to help you manage every aspect of your organization. We are focused on helping small to medium-sized businesses in the greater Niagara region succeed. And as proud members of the community, we support local organizations who are committed to creating positive change. MMP is proud to partner with the Greater Niagara Chamber of Commerce.
No. Councillor Garcia, you got to unmute. No, unmute first. Okay. There you go, Councillor. Yeah, now we can hear you. Yep. Okay, let's have a vote on that. So this is what my life has looked like for the past year. A iPad, books propped up so I can look right into it, and a desk. It's pretty much what life has been like for a year now. So before we start the state of this city, I'd like to take a moment of remembrance, to remember and reflect on the lives that have been lost due to COVID-19. More than 370 people have died in our community, but it's also an opportunity for us to also remember and reflect on those people who have passed of other causes in which families and friends and community could not gather to mourn or celebrate those cherished lives. So join me in a moment. Say the people's names that you remember who have passed away, that you didn't get to go to their funeral. You weren't part of their celebration because of the restrictions that have been in place. Take a moment to honor them now. I dedicate this State of the City to Steve Stone. Starting tomorrow, on March 12th, for the next 3 days, flags will be flown at half-mast across Niagara and all the municipalities to honor those who have passed due to COVID-19, as it marks the one-year anniversary of COVID-19 in our community. I want to thank the Greater Niagara Chamber of Commerce for putting this on tonight. The GNCC, led by Mishka Balsam, has done an amazing job supporting businesses since the start of this pandemic. They have been there to support businesses who have gone through some of the most difficult times that anyone can imagine. They have an outstanding team, and they should be applauded for what they do. I also want to say thank you to the sponsors. Verge Insurance, for 7 years, they've been sponsoring this event. Carolyn Shirk, it's great to see the next generation of business people within families who are taking that leadership role, doing an outstanding job at Verge. I want to say thank you to Bell, MNP, RBC, Electra, who has given back to our community in so many ways in the past year, as we are a shareholder of Electra with a number of other municipalities, and Electra has not forgotten our community, so I want to say thank you to them as well. O'Hare Trucking and Excavation, Dan O'Hare, a good friend, an amazing company that is building our city, building cities and towns across this community by ensuring that the roads that we travel, the sidewalks that we walk on are the best that they can be. The Wine Growers of Ontario, they are supporting tonight. We need to support them. Please support VQA, buy VQA wines. If this is one thing we can learn from the pandemic, is we need to support as much local as possible, and VQA wines are as local as it gets. So let's support our VQA wineries here in our community. And Kiefer Developments, a wonderful friend, someone who is a dear friend, and at times you grow apart, and at times you come back together, and it's great to have Phil doing his thing, and it's also great that he's supporting this. Phil, I love you, buddy. And Accenture, a Fortune 500 company that has made a significant impact and a footprint in the heart of our community. They're not going anywhere. They are a Fortune 500 company that's located right here in the heart of our community, and they are going to continue to grow and move 105.7 that keeps us on our feet all day long, and 610 CKTB that tells us like it is, giving us the news day in and day out. Your TV Niagara, that is the place to be when you want your information, when you want to be updated on what's going on in our community. 610, Jack Custers and his team do an outstanding job covering councils across the region and covering communities and the community events that make us who we are. And a special thank you to the First Ontario Performing Arts Centre, led by Colleen Smith, doing an outstanding job, really breathing life into the arts at a time when the arts has gone dark, doing what it can to really showcase that the arts live here even in these challenging times. This is a different kind of state of the city, folks. This is not the kind of state of the city I thought it would be a year ago, standing on the stage at Ridley. We had over 550 people there. You get that energy off that stage, and here am I all alone, standing on a stage that Peter Partridge and so many other people built, and it's empty. and it's empty and it's just hollow. But I know you're watching at home, and I know you will share with me the state of our city. This time last year, St. Catharines was soaring. It was being featured in magazines. There was this one clip that I keep referring to, the surprisingly cool city hiding in the middle of Canadian wine country. That was in a world red magazine, Condé Nast Traveler, and that's what they were saying about St. Catharines. We had record level of investments, new businesses opening, businesses expanding, Accenture moving downtown, 500 new employees coming into the downtown space. St. Catharines was on the map. It was a city on the move. We had a swagger and a confidence that hadn't been felt in years, in fact, decades. We were back. We were on the map. The downtown hub of activity, the Meridian Center. The Ice Dogs were burning up. We had First Ontario Performing Arts Center. At the Meridian Center, the Arkells were taking on the stage. Here in the Performing Arts Center, art was coming to life 365 days a year here at this facility. GO Train not just came to Niagara, but it was growing in Niagara. This year, they would have expanded their services if it was not for COVID-19. And we had pushed hard to go into our community, and it was here. We were firing on all cylinders. We had momentum. We were becoming one of the most dynamic, innovative, sustainable, and livable cities in North America. And then that spiky-shaped ball of contagion changed the course of the world and forced the city to a standstill. That was 1 year starting tomorrow when our city took the first steps in Niagara to close our facilities and sent its workforce home. The city's Emergency Operations Center was activated, led by our CAO, Shelley Chemnitz, and the focus shifted to protecting our community. And that has been our priority ever since. Our municipal staff, transit staff, essential workers had to quickly adapt to new work conditions, new workplaces. They were still essential services. Staff were laid off. Summer student programming's canceled. We were containing costs because we did not know what would happen. There was no playbook to pull off the shelf. There wasn't something you can Google and say, this is how you operate in a pandemic. No one knew what was going to happen. Council meetings moved online. That was interesting. But we adapted. We all adapted. The city established a pandemic recovery strategy immediately because we knew no matter how long this pandemic lasts, we have to have recovery. Recovery has to be part of what we do. Our regional rapid response team, led by Brian York and his economic development team, provided real-time help to businesses that were forced to shut. The launch of Pick Up STC, an online portal where you can go to see the takeout menus of restaurants, what retailers had for sale because we had changed to a curbside-only pickup and a delivery system. That's what COVID did to us. We waived as a city the patio fees, accelerated the approval of patios for restaurants who have been hit hard in the past year. We offered free parking in the downtown and curbside spaces to remote takeout. We accelerated the digital footprint of our businesses through the Digital Mainstream program supported by the province of Ontario. And in 1 year, we accelerated and helped accelerated businesses' online platform that probably would have taken 10 years if it wasn't for COVID-19. So just think about all of that happening in a small period of time. How did our city respond? Our museum staff went digital to create content for kids and families, led by Kathleen Powell and her team, Adrian and Sarah. We had Seniors Without Walls. Our senior centers were closed. Seniors were looking for places to connect. So our Recreation and Culture Services team, led by Lori Membella, with Kobe and Simone, created the Seniors Without Walls, and they would have these phone chats where you can call. So some seniors didn't have the computer. They weren't able to access the online world. So we went back to the phone system and they were having chats.
They were having information. They actually did trivias on the telephone. We were looking for any way we can connect with our community because that's what we do at the City of St. Catharines. Earth Week activities went online. Tree planting with Elise Norton and her furry friend Murphy was a feature, and she's an amazing arborist. So if you ever want to check out what we do at the City of St. Catharines when it comes to trees, look up Elise. Our do-it-yourself Earth Week crafts with Mackenzie Kretz. Culture Days went online. It went online because we needed culture to find their ways into your houses where you were. So we brought culture to you. Our culture team decided that we weren't going to stand still. We were going to put culture in your room where you were sitting. We earned a national award for that. City Council passed mandatory mask bylaws. First municipality in Niagara to do that. That was not an easy decision. There was resistance to wearing a mask because no one knew what the mask was going to do. Was it helping? Can it help? Is it going to help? The science was moving so quickly. And the virus was moving even more quickly. Council had to take the initiative to pass the motion about the mask. It wasn't popular, but we don't do things to be popular. In a pandemic, you do things that you think are going to protect your community. And Council took that leadership to do it. Council also passed a bylaw permitting only Niagara residents to be on the beaches in St. Catharines. Our beaches were becoming overwhelmed. There was a security issue. We didn't want people coming in from other parts of the province bringing in the virus. It cost money. It came with a significant cost. But we had to secure our beaches. These are the kind of decisions the council had to make. And I gotta say, I couldn't be more proud of this term of council. You know who they are, and I'm gonna say their names. Councillor Williamson, Councillor Garcia, Councillor Cisco, Councillor Littleton, Councillor Porter, Councillor Miller, Councillor Townsend, Councillor Sorrento, Councillor Phillips and Councillor Dodge, Councillor Harris and Councillor Kushner. Know their names because we as a council worked with city staff to protect you, members of our community. Our decisions that we made, we did in your best interest. Council also approved a new community improvement program focused on brownfield redevelopment and affordable housing. And this is so that developers coming into our community, looking at the Ontario Street, former GM site, looking at other spaces, we want to partner with them. We wanted to create a program that created the incentives for them to accelerate the development of those projects. We realize that the GM property is a challenging site, but there's no challenge that's too great for us in our community. We've overcome and we've developed other properties. This property will be developed and the CIP will be a part of that. And I want to thank Director Tammy Kitse, and her team for working on this. Margaret Josiopovic, they were the ones to put this together to get it in front of council. This will be a game changer for developing sites in St. Catharines. Council also approved a budget this year of 1.8% increase. And yes, I know there's people who always just want to see a zero tax increase, but we maintained the services and at the same time came in with the lowest tax increase in decades. And I got to say thank you to the provincial government and the federal government, because if it wasn't for the state Safe Restart programming, that tax increase more likely would have been 15% tax increases, or we would have cut a significant number of services because we would not have been able to afford the kind of revenue loss that we lost this year due to COVID-19. What a year it's been for our community and the community's response. Frontline took on a new meaning. Nurses, doctors, personal support workers, EMS, Niagara Regional Police, fire, long-term care staff, staff at grocery stores, and our own city workers. They became frontline workers. They were the ones that were ensuring that we had food security. They're the ones who were ensuring that our water systems were going to continue to operate. They were the ones looking after us in an emergency. Long-term care staff were the ones that were looking after our family when we couldn't go in. Public health took front and center stage. Dr. Verge and his team. Dr. Verge has led with integrity. He has led with empathy and honesty, with knowledge. He has done an outstanding job as a public health official here in Niagara, and he has led all the way along, looking out for our best interests. When it comes to businesses in our community, they stepped up. Businesses stepped up. So many donated PPEs. They donated or made other products that helped in this fight against COVID-19. We know who they are: Rankin, Electra, Walker Industries, General Motors, Dillon's Distillery, Niagara College, Brock University, Niagara Industrial Association, and so many others. I said to Brian York, the Director of Economic Development, keep a list, because when this is over, we are going to acknowledge everybody who has played a part, who has done their job, who put up their hand to say, I am going to be a part of this. How can I help? How can I help? That's what business people did. How can I help? And they did. Rotary Club stepped up here in St. Catharines to fund a Clean Works sanitization machine that is now at the Niagara Hospital that sanitizes PPEs and equipment made right here in Beamsville, of all places. Made in Beamsville. And that was a place that the Premier had visited in the summertime to point out the kind of innovation that was taking place due to the crisis that we were in. Restaurants, one of the hardest hit sectors. Chefs and owners prepared food for healthcare and long-term care workers. They were the ones forced to shut their doors. They turned around and made sure that the people who were looking after our most vulnerable had the sustenance of food to continue on. That's amazing what they've done. And people made masks. People made masks. You saw it all over. They were getting out the old sewing machine, figuring out, how do I do this again? Young people, older adults, making masks for our community. And our vibrant and amazing and full of life downtown changed into a place in which people could walk down the middle of St. Paul Street. Imagine that. Closed on the weekends, patios spilled out onto the sidewalks, into the parking spots, and people were able to walk and ride their bikes, and my son was able to use his skateboard down St. Paul Street. Dad, that was cool. Just imagine what that would have been like for a 15-year-old to go down St. Paul Street, and all those people that came out on the weekend to enjoy this newfound space because restaurants needed some kind of way to make a living. So we spilled them out onto St. Paul Street and allowed for the pedestrian space to truly become pedestrian. New spaces popped up, new hidden gems. The most Insta-photoed restaurant patio had to have been the Merchant Ale, located on St. Paul Street, but the patio is behind in the old mercantile marine section of the history of our community, hidden there for no one to see until they strung up some lights, put out some tables, and it became one of the coolest places to enjoy a beverage with a friend. Animated spaces at the corner of St. Paul and James Street. The Grape and Wine Festival brought to life that corner. The City of St. Catharines brought to life with the BIA the Christmas feel of that corner. There was modifications to try and get people to be in our downtown space, to support our downtown businesses. And I would like to acknowledge the BIA for all the work that they've done as well. When it comes to the arts, they are one of the hardest hits beside the restaurants and the tourism hospitality industry. The arts community has taken a significant hit. In the Soil, one of the largest art festivals in Ontario, located here in downtown St. Catharines, went completely online. They did what they could to ensure that artists were able to reach our community. The Niagara Artist Center held an outdoor cinema over in downtown St. Catharines, over on Church Street, Church in Wellington. And the First Ontario Performing Arts Center created new spaces so that the arts could come back to life in the heart of our community. The arts has been and will be one of the most impacted by this pandemic. The arts lives here. It can't just be a slogan, it can't just be a saying. We have to do what we can to support the arts and the artists moving forward. We owe it to them because it's their creativity that gave us a place like this. Right at the Marilyn I. Walker School of Fine and Performing Arts is where those creative students come to our community to learn. We owe it to support the arts in any way we can. This summer we had a grocery giveaway a number of times. A generous donor showed up with a trailer truck full of food, and Councillors Littleton and Cisco, Julie Hughes in my office, Phil Christie, Parks and Rec, Brian York and his team, through different parts of the summer and fall, helped to get the food to the people who need it the most. And I got to tell you, folks, there's people in our community that need that lifeline. It breaks your heart when you see the line and how long the line is. Poverty is real, and this pandemic has magnified the poverty. It's also magnified the divide between those who have and those who don't. So there has been bright spots when it comes to this past year. Businesses have opened. Brass Monkey, Trust, District Tapas and Bar, India a Kitchen Aroma, which is amazing in the North End, Twisted Pig, Portside and Port Dalhousie, Green Apple, A. Jose Taqueria, downtown, Score Pizza, Kaiser House. We had retailers, All Figure, Thistle Bookstore and Cafe, Grandma's Basement, Biscuit and Bone. These are businesses that opened in the pandemic. Whether they needed to because they had signed a lease or this is what their passion was and they weren't going to let a pandemic get in the way. Just imagine the stories they'll be able to tell when we get out of this pandemic that they launched a business during a pandemic. You want to talk about risk? You want to talk about entrepreneurship? That's what it looks like. Entrepreneurs take risks. And these people, these business owners, wow, hats off. Let's support those who just started businesses here in our community as well. We also have exciting news around larger businesses. Expanding to our community, HavCon, a greenhouse operation that supplies the greenhouse industry, has opened up their head office here in our community. They're from the Netherlands. SteelCon from Brampton moved into St. Catharines, large format steel producer. Quick Plug, a company that's rooted in the agricultural industry, relocated its entire division here to St. Catharines. Stubby Concrete from Brantford, relocating to St. Catharines. Dragon Brewing, opening up in St. Catharines. Policaro Group is bringing the Porsche brand into the city. These plans are going unabated. They are moving forward, folks. These are businesses that are creating jobs, not just 1 and 2 people jobs. These are dozens of jobs. These are in the 50s and 60s in terms of jobs. And they are coming into our community even as we're being impacted by this pandemic. For the first time in over a decade, I already touched on this, Heddle Shipyards has 3 full-size Lakers in Port Weller. And I know Councillor Phillips, whose dad worked on the Lakers, loves the fact that in his ward, he sees those Lakers there in winter tie-up getting repaired. We have the $28 million cogeneration facility that opened up at GM in August in a partnership with Walker Industries. So the fuel that is going to drive the GM plant on Glendale is being provided by the biofuel from Walker Industries. And it's making that plant one of the greenest in North America. Not just in the GM family, but actually one of the greenest manufacturing plants in North America. That's something we should all be proud of. In November, GM announced a $109 million investment into its Glendale property. Folks, that's making sure that that facility remains a part of our automotive history and future for years to come. Downtown Bethlehem Housing opened up on 111 Church, a 127-unit housing facility for people who didn't have a home. This is a new home, a beautiful new home for 127 people and families in our community that needed a home. I want to thank Lori Beach, the Executive Director of Bethlehem Housing, and from Pantera, Sunil Bahadur Singh and John Kingston. And I want to thank Lloyd Smith from First Ontario Banking Credit Union, because it was a partnership that brought that facility, that building together. It shows you what, when we want to tackle an issue, when we want to tackle affordable housing, you don't do it alone. You do it with partners. And that's what Bethlehem Housing has done. And I was there in June to see the smiles on the faces of those who are getting a home for the first time. It wasn't just smiles. People had tears in their eyes. They had a place to call home. Imagine that. In the heart of our city, we're building affordable housing. We have the groundbreaking of the Seasons Retirement Complex, the former Hotel Dieu site on Ontario Street, coming out of the ground. We got cranes there. Around the corner, 77 Yates. The condo project is almost complete and is sold out. Down the road, Rankin's condo project, Royal Port, is coming out of the ground. It looks amazing. It's almost complete. Homestead developments in the south end, a 21-story building, a 19-story building, a 12-story building, folks, being built all at the same time. Rental units, long overdue, the largest building complex being built in St. Catharines in more than 30 years. Those cranes are in the air. This may be a pandemic, but those cranes signal opportunity. They signal momentum. They signal that we're creating places for people to live in our community. That's a $390 million construction outline that is taking place here in our community, the highest value in more than a decade in St. Catharines. So from construction and built form, we talk about past year in terms of other issues. And I will call them bright spots because it awoke in us an understanding on a social side. The Black Lives Matter protests that took place at City Hall and in Niagara Falls. Thousands of people from all walks came together to protest with our Black brothers and sisters and our Indigenous brothers and sisters. George Floyd, remember the name. To place a long overdue spotlight on racism in all its forms in our community. I walked with my daughter because the next generation is going to get it right. Emancipation Day activities returned to St. Catharines. Thanks to Black-owned 905, Matter of Black, Brock, the First Ontario Performing Arts Centre, the online programming celebrating Emancipation Day, which was a fixture in our community for years, that took place in Lakeside Park, was brought back to life. Folks, systemic racism is real. It's real and it's in our city. And with our anti-racism committee, our inclusivity, equity, and diversity committee, and the LGBTQ2+ committee, we will learn, we will listen, and we will act to root out systemic racism. And we will build a better, stronger, more inclusive community. There is no I am not racist. We are either anti-racist or racist. And I know that St. Catharines can be and will be known as an anti-racist community. It's a promise we should all make. So the frame of this has been this time last year, this time now, this time next year. Momentum will return. Now that the vaccines are rolling out in our community, and I do want to acknowledge the federal and provincial government, we can all criticize. We can all sit in our comfy chairs and say, you're doing this wrong. You're doing that wrong. You're not doing that right. But this is a time in which we need to work together and continue to work together. And I just want to say that the Prime Minister, Trudeau, has done an outstanding job. The Premier Ford has done an outstanding job. And all the people that represent our governments are trying. And yes, there has been mistakes. Yes, there has been mistakes. People make mistakes. But people are trying in government to ensure that the tears of the pandemic that could leave on a community will not exist or will be repaired quickly. With Niagara Health, Niagara Health is rocking the vaccines. The 4-pad, what we've seen at the 4-pad, thank Niagara Health. Lynn Guerrero and her team have done a great job of making sure that we're getting people vaccinated that need to get vaccinated quickly. The healthcare, the frontline, the long-term care, the PSWs. You see the death rates going down because the long-term cares have been vaccinated. That was a key metric in making sure that we're protecting people in our community. Public health is gearing up for the largest vaccination ever in our history. We need patience. We need understanding. When the portal opens on Monday, people will be able to call. You'll be able to get your mom and dad in. You'll be able to get your aunt and uncle in. You'll get your shots in the arm. The vaccines are coming. But we need to stay focused. So that means wear the mask, wash your hands, which your mom told you when you were young anyway. Wash your hands all the time. Keep that distance. Keep that distance from others. Keep your bubble tight. Keep your bubble tight. You know why, folks? Because while the long-term cares have been vaccinated, while the healthcare workers have been vaccinated, we have a larger, older demographic. They're still living at home. They live in apartment buildings. Mums and dads in their 70s and 80s. They're still living independently. So if we allow the variants that have popped up to get out of control, it puts their lives in jeopardy. We are in it together. That's what we said from the beginning, and that's what we're going to do now. So keep your focus. Don't let the variant get out of control. Look after one another until we get the shots in the arm. And then that momentum, you'll feel it. It'll carry you because we're getting there. Remember that swagger, the cool city in the middle of Canadian wine country. Remember that. It will come roaring back. The piers will be open in Port Dalhousie soon. And I want to thank MP Biddle for all the work he's done to secure that $30 million reconstruction project. They will be open this summer. And yes, the parking lot will be open and ready for people to park in Port Dalhousie. A new piece of public art will take shape at Lakeside Park to celebrate the life of Neil Peart. When that is unveiled, people from around the world, the Rush fans that ring this world, will come to St. Catharines, and we are going to welcome them with open arms because we are going to celebrate Neil Peart, a homegrown talent from here in St. Catharines. We're going to have a renewed Sunset Beach. There's going to be washrooms there. You'll be able to wash your feet off. We've got new things coming to Sunset Beach, courtesy of the work being done by Councillor Phillips and Councillor Dodge, bringing new life back into Sunset Beach because we saw how popular the beach was last year. And we want people to come back when the pandemic is over to enjoy some of the best shoreline in all of Lake Ontario, right here in St. Catharines. Who would have thought? Who would have thought when it was named Municipal Beach? Remember that? I mean, who wants to go to Municipal Beach? No one really went there. Last year, thousands of people showed up. I want to be on that beach, Sunset Beach. Makes you feel proud to be where you're from. Meridian Center will come back to life. That is my promise. The Ice Dogs will take that ice once again, and I'm confident Bill and Denise will put on a team that is going to rock the Meridian Center. We miss those Ice Dogs. Go Dogs, go. We miss that sound, the cheering, the being able to get together and cheer for those Ice Dogs. The big ticket concerts will be back. That is a guarantee. And I'm hoping Tim Hicks will be on that stage. I hope we kick off the Meridian Center reopening. I hope there's some kind of celebratory event where Tim Hicks can take the stage and belt out the songs that he has been performing for so many years. And people like him went dark for the past year because they weren't able to do what they love to do, which is entertain. The First Ontario Performing Arts Center will be back. This hall will be filled. It will be filled with people supporting the arts. There will be standing ovations. It will be dance. It will be theater. It will be music. It'll be Chorus Niagara. It'll be the Niagara Symphony. They will all play again because they are who we are. And Brock students will be back. 19,000 strong. We'll be back in our downtown. Just don't do anything on St. Patrick's Day because it really makes our lives difficult. But other than that, those students really make our downtown, our community vibrant. They are an economic generator. And folks, I know those students will be back. And those professors will be welcoming them with open arms. We will be tackling homelessness. Built for Zero, which you will continue to hear more about, is about getting to a functional zero on homelessness. We have the plan in place. We have the technology to do it. We have the partnerships that are making this happen. We will get to a functional zero. We've seen homelessness in our community more prevalent than it has been previously. One reason being is because everybody's at home who can work at home. People aren't coming into the downtown core. They may be working in their manufacturing facilities and then going home, but people aren't traveling. But the homeless were here. You just maybe didn't see them. Now you see them a lot more because there's nobody else moving around in our community. But you see the homelessness. Can't turn a blind eye to it, and we never have. In the last 6 years, we have not turned a blind eye to homelessness. We are tackling it. It's complex. It's not easy. And as a friend of mine said, it is going to be a difficult thing to do, but if a community wants to get to the rates of homelessness that are functionally zero, Built for Zero is the way to do that. We're going to be building new affordable housing in Geneva Street, the former Parks and Rec building. We're going to be building affordable housing on Academy. We're working with developers to see where they can locate more affordable housing in our community. We're looking at regionalized transit, and it's not just looking, we are at the final stages. This has been years in the making. We are one of the only regions of our size that doesn't have regionalized transit. You want to talk about removing economic barriers. Talk about regional transit. You want to equalize things that are happening in society. You want a social equilibrium. Talk about regionalized transit. You want to be myopic? You want to go this way and say, we don't need regional transit. Regional transit is not something we need. Look at the communities that are thriving. They have regional transit. And we are this close to getting there. It's going to take us a few more discussions. We've got to come with more information, more data. But I could tell you, regionalized transit will be one of those economic, social drivers that if we get it right, will transform our community. And St. Catharines is a part of that Niagara community. Canada Summer Games 2022. Doug Hamilton and his team, Doug Hamilton is the chair of the Canada 2022, and his team That facility that's coming out of the ground by Brock University is a game changer. It's a game changer, a $100 million facility that is absolutely going to change how people see our community. Our young athletes are going to be able to be in a space where high performance training is going to be there for them to touch. There's a track up there that will train the next Olympic athletes from our community. There's going to be beach volleyball courts. There's hockey rinks. There's a gymnasium. There's a track. There's a disability center. All right here in our community. And we're welcoming the biggest games that have ever been hosted here to St. Catharines. Niagara, 5,000 athletes. The World Rowing Championships are going to happen in 2024. The World Rowing Center that's being built for the Canada Summer Games will be a centerpiece of the World Rowing Championships in 2024. The largest rowing championship ever held in Canadian soil, right here in St. Catharines in 2024. You want to talk about momentum? That's what momentum looks like. That's what it's going to feel like, but we have to get there. So just a couple of final reflections before I wrap it up. My mom always says I talk too long. And I'm just kidding. She'll give me trouble for actually saying that. We are a community of heroes. We are a community of heroes. From the nurses and the doctors, the medical support staff, the PSWs, and all the staff working at long-term care. EMS, Niagara Regional Police, Fire. To those who showed up for work at the grocery store to ensure we had the security of food. Heroes. To those who showed up each and every night and morning to feed the homeless. Heroes. To those who volunteered every night out of the cold. Heroes. To places like Pathstone, the volunteers at the Niagara Distress Center. To those working at Positive Living. Heroes. To the teachers who found a new way to teach. To the mums and dads who tried desperately to find new ways to balance an already complicated life with their children. Heroes. To the students who forewent graduation. They forewent the opportunity that comes with sport, ballet, dance, art, whatever it may be. Heroes. To those who cared for an ailing loved one. To those who went to the window of the long-term care and put their hand against it. Heroes. To those who donated their time, talent, and treasure, someone like Doug Smith, who made a significant donation to a young autistic boy who had his stroller stolen. Or Fred Bowering, who had built a sacred fire under the bridge, under the Burgoyne Bridge, for all those who had lost their lives to suicide at that bridge. This fall, he held a sacred fire. Heroes come in all sizes and shapes, including these two kids who saved their dad. Jeff suffered a massive heart attack in the fall. It was in the middle of a pandemic, and his kids, Oliver and Aubrey, took over. Oliver started chest compressions and CPR and didn't stop until the first responders showed up. Aubrey collected the family's pets, made sure they were safe, and then met the responders at the front door in a very calm way and brought them into where her dad was. Because of the quick actions of Oliver and Aubrey, Jeff is with us today. Oliver and Aubrey, much like so many other people in our community in the past year, are real heroes. Unsung heroes, as they say. And that's what makes our community special. The last year has been defined by everyday heroes doing what they can to help those in our community, help their family, help their loved ones, help their friends, help the businesses down the street that were struggling to stay open, the people who had to work long hours. We're a community of heroes. So, what is the state of our city? Before signing off, I just want to say publicly, I want to thank our team at STC for their hard work and tireless efforts over the past year. We have an amazing team that works for our city, that works for you each and every day, you, the members of our community. They work hard. I want to give a special thank you to my staff who have made sure that even as things changed, I was able to continue to perform my function as mayor. I also want to thank our CAO, Shelley Chemnitz, for her unwavering and steady leadership during these times. Shelley has announced she is retiring in a few months, and I want to publicly acknowledge her work as the first female CAO for the city of St. Catharines. She has done an outstanding job guiding our city both in good times and through this last year. So, next year, I'm going to be standing on this stage. It will be a full house in Partridge Hall, just like Peter Partridge would want to see it. And we will be getting ready to host the biggest sporting event that Niagara has ever seen. And that means St. Catharines will be soaring again. That is my promise to you. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Mayor Sendzik and everyone who are present. My name is Lena DeMarco, Regional Director of Bell Community Affairs. On behalf of all my colleagues at Bell, let me say what a pleasure it is to join this virtual event. Today, in what is becoming a familiar format, rather than have the actual event live in person, we have been treated to an enlightening virtual event to hear the plans and priorities of the community leaders, especially during these challenging times. Mayor Sendzik, your remarks have provided us with a positive outlook of what has been achieved and where you would like to see the city go next. Bell's own operating principles in response to COVID-19 has been to keep Canadians connected and informed, prioritize the health and safety of the public, our customers and team, and support our communities. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Greater Niagara Chamber for their ongoing work with Bell and organizing this virtual event. Bell is here to help the community of St. Catharines as it continues to prosper and develop as a dynamic place to live, work, and play. We are proud to continue to support the Greater Niagara Chamber of Commerce as they work hard every day to ensure you have the right environment to build your businesses. I would also like to thank the nominees and winners of today's awards. Congratulations. I also want to take this opportunity to share with you information about our Bell Let's Talk Community Fund, which is now accepting applications until March 15th. We are looking forward to supporting more grassroots mental health projects in 2021. Grants start at $5,000 to $25,000. You can apply on the Bell site, which will be shared with you following the event. Again, thank you, Mayor Sendzik, for so generously sharing your thoughts with us today, and I hope to see everyone live soon.
Thank you very much, Lena, for your perfect comments actually to end this event. And thanks to Mayor Sendzik, who to speak so openly and frankly about the momentum that is happening in our city. It takes commitment to ignite momentum, and it takes actually continuously looking at greater goals and aiming higher when we actually can meet the commitment that we have set out here today. These times give us opportunities to redefine our goals, but we can't do it alone. And at this time, it is with gratitude that I want to acknowledge the partners that have actually shaped not only this event, but in many aspects our community. Verge Insurance, Bell Community Affairs, MNP, RBC, Electra, O'Hara Trucking and Excavating, Wine Growers of Ontario, Kiefer Development, Accenture, UTV, First Ontario Performance Arts Centre, Move 105.7 and Newstalk 610 CKTB. To everyone who has joined us from their homes, thank you for being part of this momentum. We depend on you, we rely on you, and we're stronger because of you. Thank you.